Rookie here. It's the Pat and JT podcast.
Pat and JT podcast.
Well, thank you for all the text. 402-403-9478. Hopefully, as this drops, it's the middle of the weekend. Hopefully, you're enjoying your weekend. If it's Monday, then hopefully you had a great weekend. If it's December, I don't know what to tell you.
If it's December, just remember, this was the weekend that Nebraska played Ohio State.
That's right.
There was something I was going to just bring up, because I don't know, you've probably seen some of the stories about it, and I know I've seen some stories as well about the vape smoking and the lung disorders. And
knew that was going to happen a long time ago. It just seemed, vaping in general just seemed like, that's super sketch. You know?
I'm like 6 of one, half a dozen the other, because I know people that have quit smoking because of vaping. I know people that vape that don't use any nicotine in there. It's just the action, what they call the throat hit.
Yeah.
You know, taking the drag on it. They don't use any nicotine whatsoever. And then there are others that do. And we know nicotine is addictive. And that kids had started using it because it was kind of marketed toward them with the cotton candy flavors or, other flavors like that the adults probably aren't looking for.
I would think you'd get really sick of that after a while. Like cotton candy.
Do you remember
over and over? When
people first started vaping and where we used to work, a lot of people vaped in the building.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All the time. And if they use the flavored, it's kind of like me with hazelnut coffee. You make frou-frou coffee in my coffee pot.
You're done. You could like smell it, like go through a store and you smell it, like that smells good. But if you got to smell it over and over and over and
all
over,
day long,
yeah,
and it goes right along with other little office courtesies, like don't cook fish in the microwave, burning popcorn. All those things, because nobody can leave. It's going to smell like that all day. It's the same way with the vaping. And at first it was kind of like, okay, whatever. And there was a couple of them I can think of that they went outside even though they were vaping, they would never inside. And then there was also a good buddy of ours who was one of the producers. And he would be in his studio when he was really frantically working, and he was really good at what he did, but he was like hyper focused, and it'd just be a cloud of
and it was
all over
like it smelled like caramel sometimes. And one of the businesses that are close to where we are now, there are people that, and it's a completely smoke-free campus. It's not it's said smoke-free campus
because it's not smoke.
But they go clear out to the street and they vape.
To vape.
It's whatever insurance company.
Smoke.
Even Allegiant, CHI is the same way. You can't vape on any of their properties. You can't smoke, vape. You have to walk across the street and you vape.
It's got to be a weird conversation to try to decide, do we let them vape on the property?
I think that's where they're just like, nothing.
It's not smoke.
I know, it's weird. I feel bad for the lady that I've seen her multiple times walking across the street out here by the office, and she just vaping because it's vapor.
It's vapor,
right?
Literally, that's why it's called.
It's odd.
Vaping.
It's very odd.
It's vapor, water vapor. Where things have gone awry on two levels, I think, is number one because of the marketing, and it was appealing to kids, and especially the product, the dispensers were appealing also, and the jewels that were teeny tiny, and and kids could sneak them in, and they could use them in the bathroom, and just like smoking in the bath, right? I mean, things never change,
right?
But the other side of it are the products that are being distributed that aren't approved, the black market, and so people can add other substances that they can buy cheaper and get the same stuff. And unfortunately, that's where you're seeing the problem, where the breathing disorders are coming from, is the bootleg vape pens. And they have toxic chemicals in them. Some have been found to have like a cyanide type vapor that were in them. And they said it's just a whole new epidemic. Some of the state health officials have said that a solvent that has been used to cut cannabis for use in vape pens may be responsible for the outbreak as well. It's a vitamin E acetate. Some of the words are huge. The words are great big, but they found so many things like that. And I guess I don't think that they should stop the vaping, because the hydrogen cyanide, yes, scares the crap out of me. But if you aren't buying it off market, bootleg, online, that kind of thing. And I think that's probably where kids are getting them more often.
More than likely, because it's cheaper and it's also kind of under the radar from their parents too.
Yeah,
because they just can't go into a Loma and buy stuff if you're underage. So you got to get it online.
Is there an age limit for vape?
18.
It is 18?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for nicotine.
Well, for nicotine, but if it's non-nicotine, if there's no nicotine in the juice.
That's a good question. I don't know. I mean,
I really don't know.
I don't know. I really don't. I mean, I know there are some places you can't go into a bar unless you're 21, whether you buy a soda or not. So I bet you can't even walk in there if you're not 18. I would assume.
I don't know. So we'll take your calls or thoughts on that. But I'm watching this stuff unwind, and I saw that the CEO, I believe it was, of Juul stepped down, and some other people have lost their jobs, and I think even Juul stopped production of some lines of this stuff, and I think they're maybe it's like an overreaction, because I think it serves a good purpose. And it's just the sad part is the way it's dispensed, you're able to add other stuff to it. And some people were adding THC, right?
Sure.
And
a lot of it's not regulated. So you can go completely, just like going to any sort of supplement store and buying something where it says it's not approved by the FDA. Well, you're totally running a risk that it could be not what it says it is. It's not regulated.
Doesn't have to be. I saw somebody posted on Facebook. Actually, I think it was Carrie Messenger. Had posted it, and I thought this several times myself. Carrie, I'm right there with you. If somebody's selling CBD oil with a handwritten sign stuck in their yard,
that's on you. At some point, that's got to be on you.
Right?
That's got to be on you.
Come on.
You go on Craigslist and you meet some person in an alley to buy a camera and you get beat up. That's on you.
It is.
I mean, it's their fault because they punched you, but it's on you for putting yourself in that situation.
You're trying to cut a corner.
Yeah.
And you take a risk. You roll the dice. Mm-hmm. And the same way with these vape pens and any of the dispensers, just if you're going to use it, don't try to go around. I don't know. Or try and trick it out or something, because that's where I think people are running into problems.
Yeah.
And granted, the cases that they've seen so far, it hasn't been like thousands and thousands, but
it still can't be
afraid
at the bottom.
What's coming?
It can't be. I mean, I remember 10 years ago. Well, not that long. Whatever it was, 7 years ago when it started, 5 years ago. That you just don't know. I mean, it's something brand new for your body, to be
the stuff that's regulated
over and over and over.
I'm okay with the stuff that's regulated, but it's the stuff that's not.
Like which is crazy to me that
like.
you can even get stuff that's not regulated.
Did you hear about they had a huge bust, and I can't remember, was it Minnesota or Wisconsin? Huge bust, and I mean hundreds of thousands of black market.
Oh yeah, I
vape
did hear
pens
about
that somebody found worth like millions of dollars on the street that they found them in whatever storage facility that somebody had collected them, and they were planning to dispense them black market, and it's a huge market.
And I feel bad
it's
for
like
these
getting
kids.
Cigarettes into prison,
right?
I mean, it's like money.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
So the thing is just to keep it out of the hands of the kids, because it's deemed as not as dangerous.
Yeah.
And if it has nicotine, number one, it is dangerous. Then you add the other stuff. It really is. So I hope they can figure it out, because I do think it is a positive for people that want to quit smoking.
Right. And I think
I
you're
really
right, because
do.
I think if they want to quit smoking, I've never been a smoker. Right.
Maybe
I've
prescription.
never been a smoker, so I understand it's one of the hardest things to stop. But like, there's got to be like an end game, like with the Nicorette gum. Like you can't just go in and like, I'm going to chew gum for the rest of my life. You got to have an end game. So if you're going to use vaping to quit smoking, there's got to be like an end plan.
I think maybe they do that. Maybe they do a prescription.
A good idea. Yeah.
And it's regulated that way. But
Yeah.
hopefully then somebody doesn't go the other way and then start charging 9 times the price for it. Anyway, let's lighten it up. Okay. So we had the recent events of the Brady Bunch celebrating their 50th anniversary. Sherwood Schwartz, the creator of the show, right? And I'll remember that name forever just from watching the show.
Yeah.
I had no idea who Sherwood Schwartz was. Anyway, he had another show that was out there too. That's beaten it for an anniversary.
Okay.
Gilligan's Island celebrating their 55th anniversary. Sadly, most of the cast is not with us any longer.
Is anybody still with us?
Yes. 2, I think Don Wells and Tina Louise.
So who's that? Is that the professor?
That is not.
Okay.
That would be Ginger and
Dawn. I think Dawn.
D-A-W-N.
D-A-W-N.
Dawn. Right? So, okay. So the girls are still there. So Bob Denver, Alan Hale Jr., Jim Backus, Natalie Schaefer, and Russell Johnson. Russell Johnson was the professor.
Okay.
They're no longer with us. But Tina Louise, apparently speaking out about the 55th anniversary of Gilligan's Island, and still very fond memories and a very special place in American television history, no doubt about it. And she said, just to remember, when we first aired, the country was in turmoil. We were just past the Cuban Missile Crisis. The assassination of President John F. Kennedy had happened. Vietnam War was escalating, and people needed an escape. What a time to launch a show like that.
Right. Yeah, perfect timing.
And during it, then they lost Martin Luther King. And it really was the Great Escape. That's something I had no idea that's when it debuted. That is crazy.
Yeah, perfect time to launch it. You're
right?
Yeah.
It's just amazing, and people just wanted some place to go that had nothing to do with what was going on in the world.
Yeah, kind of like right now. Well, the last thing you want to do is turn on the news and watch it and see what's really going on in the crazy world. You want us.
It's not. Yeah, right. Oh my God. And then finally, the last story I have to bring to you. This is because I got to make sure I got this right. Somebody had sent it to me and they said it was, and I didn't double check. Okay. So I'm like cold reading this. Anyway, it's an Iowa mom who was featured in a Cafe Mom. If you see that, Cafe Mom is one of the websites online you can check out.
Okay.
And we're going to post the picture. Hopefully you don't go to Twitter jail for it. But anyway, this mother said a typical evening. She was with her husband, Ashley is her name, with her newborn, breastfeeding her newborn. And just like clockwork, it happened. She got puked on. But at that time, she didn't have her little spit, whatever, towel. Right? Mm-hmm. So it was just her shirt. And she tried to clean it up just a little bit. But when she went to go clean it up, she looked down and she said she just hysterically started laughing. Couldn't stop. Couldn't have been more perfect if I tried, she said. It somehow landed in exactly the form of a certain part of the male anatomy.
Oh, that's funny. Really?
Unbelievably.
Do you have a picture of this? Okay.
I'll find it.
Oh, did you send it to me?
I did. I sent it to you. Yes,
right.
Pull it up. I sent it to you.
On email?
So,
there it is.
Yes,
I got
did.
It. Yeah, okay.
So pull it up and you'll see it there. And she said...
I'm posting this on our Facebook page, by the way, so you can see this.
She said she was laughing so hard. She says, and she says, and it is just, it was perfect. She says it cascaded down her shirt and it dried in what can only be described,
I mean,
she
it's
says,
totally, it looks like...
as a work of artistry.
Yes.
And so they snapped a picture, of course.
That is hilarious.
Just wanting to share it with a small group of family and friends. And before they know it, this thing has gone crazy.
You throw that up online, it's not going to be within a small group of family and friends. Give me a break.
She is an Iowa mom. There we go. And she says she's found the fame of little Meredith Spit Up to be pretty comical. And everybody loves a good penis joke.
That story is now on our Facebook page because that is hilarious.
There you go.
That is
Happy Sunday or whatever day it is.
And hopefully you can see it. If you can't, you need to go to Kugler Vision.
If you can't see it without your glasses or contacts.
Right. Go to kuglervision.com.
Right? That
Yes.
would be a really good, let's say layman's test, so to speak. But yes, if you get on kuglervision.com and you go ahead and schedule that consultation, you pick the day, you pick the time, the calendar's right there. Go in and get the testing done. And the whole battery of tests, it's not going to take a lot of your time at all. They run you right through it. And then they sit down and they talk about the results. And you go in one of their gorgeous exam rooms. They're not even exam rooms. They're like suites. And each one is dedicated to a neighborhood in Omaha. They've got like the Blackstone and the Benson and the Dundee, and inside the murals are gorgeous and big flat screen TVs, so they can show you exactly what's going on with your eyes.
What's funny is you may not be able to see them until after the procedure.
This is true.
So you might have no idea what you're walking into.
So then the conversation is, here are the things that are good for you, the options that are on the table for you. What do you think? Let's make a life-changing decision. And trust me, Pat and I have both done it. Mm-hmm. To us, it really is. I say life-changing. So
being able to see perfect as you can get without your glasses is life-changing.
So for the last, let's see, I got mine done in 2001 was when I got it done. And I'm still, the benefits of it, I'm still like damn near 20/20. That's my experience. And I wish I would have done it so much earlier, because I think of how much money I spent on contacts.
Craziness.
And on glasses, because even if you have contacts, you still have glasses because you need them at nighttime or when you're tired or whatever else. And it's incredible. And that was like one of the things that I think more than anything opened my eyes to the benefit. You pay that one time and it's like, what an investment. And then you're done.
pretty
and you
slick.
just get to see everything around you, right? Anyway, yes, Kugler Vision, fantastic. KuglerVision.com.
And to see a picture of the puke penis, go to facebook.com/PatentJT. Thanks for listening.
Pat and JT Podcast. A Parkville Media Production.